Good morning. I am Monica Ramchandani. Today here to present cloud computing tools. So we are going to discuss about three cloud computing tools in this presentation. One is Amazon EC2, second is OpenStack, and third is Microsoft Azure. So let's discuss about Microsoft Azure. Microsoft Azure is one of the cloud computing platforms which was provided by Microsoft, and it was unveiled in October 2008, but it went live after Feb 2010. It has two releases as of now, and the most famous version is Microsoft Azure V1 and V2. And the price of Azure is also simpler and cost effective, means it uses pay as you go basis, which means that how much ever you use, you need to pay only for that. And there are four terminologies of Microsoft Azure. One is the server, which makes use of app services, load balancer, Azure load balancer and auto scaling, database is MySQL database, and file system is blob storage. So Microsoft Azure, it helps in many ways. One is capitalless, means that you need to simply pay as you go, and you need to enjoy a subscription based model, which is like your cash flow. Also, to set up an Azure account, it is very easy, and you just need to simply register in the portal and select your required subscription, and you have to get going. Next is less operational cost. Now Azure has low operational cost. Why? Because it runs on its own servers whose only job is to make the cloud functional and bug free. And it's usually a whole lot more reliable than your own on location server. Next is cost effective. Now, if we set up a server on our own, firstly, we need to hire a tech support team to monitor them. Then we need to make sure whether the things are working fine. So this situation here is not required because it is pocket friendly. Now, easy backup and recovery options, that it is easier to back up all the valuable data. In disaster situations, you can recover all the data in a single click without the business getting affected. So it has a cloud-based backup and recovery solution. Easy to implement. It is very easy to implement the business model in Azure. With a couple of click activities, it's good to go. And better security, it provides more security than the local servers. It is be carefree about your critical data and business applications, and it's safe inside this Microsoft Azure. So Azure is also a rescue, and the cloud is always on. And work from anywhere, the most important advantage is work from anywhere, means you have a freedom to work from anywhere. It just requires a network connection and some credentials, and then you can work it wherever you want. And there is also increased collaboration with Microsoft Azure, and that means that Azure's record keeping timestamps provide a team collaboration by establishing transparency, and it increases accountability. Next, let's go through cloud offerings. There are usually three categories of it, and one is SaaS, that is software as a service, platform as a service, and infrastructure as a service. Software as a service is generally a software which is hosted and managed for the end customer. It is based on a multi-tenant architecture. A single version of the application is used for all the customers. And platform as a service will deploy your application into an application hosting environment. It is provided by the cloud service vendor, and it has the ability to deploy and run it. And it frees developers from infrastructure management, allowing them to focus strictly on development. And it provides several PaaS compute offerings, including the app features, an Azure App Service, Azure Cloud Services, and in either case, developers have multiple ways to deploy their application without knowing anything about the nuts and bolts. And we need not create separate VMs or remote desktop control protocols to get started with it. Infrastructure as a service is that an IaaS cloud vendor will run and manage the server farms using virtualization software. You can create VMs that run on the vendor's infrastructure, and depending on the vendor, you can create a virtual machine which is running on Windows or Linux and install anything you want on it. So Azure will provide which it's that ability to set up virtual networks, load balancers, and all. Implementation is that first there is a user base, and then there is a load balancer and auto scaling, and there are servers, and there is a database which is MySQL database which stores everything, and then there is a file system which makes use of blob storage. Now, services provided by Microsoft Azure are compute. It includes virtual machine scale sets, functions for serverless computing. And next is networking, where you can use variety of networking tools, which may be virtual network, and you can connect it to an on-premise data center. And there are load balancers, there are application gateways, there are VPN gateways, and so on. And there is content delivery network traffic manager also. Storage is that it includes blob storage, queue, file and disk storage, as well as data lake storage. And creating web mobile application is very easy because it includes several services for building and deploying the applications. And next is containers, Azure has a property which includes a container service. It will support the Kubernetes DC or OS that or Docker Swarm and container registry, and it will make use of microservices tools also. And databases, Azure also includes several SQL databases and related tools. And then is data plus analytics, security plus identity, and AI cognitive intelligence. And it makes use of IoT, okay, which is like an edge service. Next, we are going to discuss about OpenStack. OpenStack is a collection of open source software projects which can be collectively utilized, and they operate in a cloud network infrastructure to provide an infrastructure as a service. And it came into existence in 2010 as a joint project with NASA, and it is a non-profitable entity. And the primary goal of its community is to provide cloud-based OpenStack service for standard hardware. Now, OpenStack has three components. One is OpenStack Compute, which is Nova, OpenStack Object Store, which is Swift, and OpenStack Image Service, which is Glance. So, OpenStack Compute is a cloud computing controller which is designed to manage the server resources in virtualized environments. It takes requests from the end users and manages virtualization through APIs or dashboards to form virtual instances also. And it will manage high performance bare metal configurations also. There are some API services, which is Nova API, message queuing, that is RabbitMQ server, computing services, which is Nova Compute, network services, Nova API, block storage services, that is Nova Volume, and scheduling services, that is Nova Scheduler. And there is next is OpenStack Object Store, which is Swift. It is a mountable redundancy storage system. It will help in data replication throughout the data center, and files and objects are copied to multiple storage units with the help of this component, and storage clusters are scaled horizontally. And next is Open Image Service, which is Glance. It is an imaging service which is for lookup and retrieval system for virtual machines, and it is configured to Swift or S3 storage. And this is the architecture, which is Nova API, Glance API, and Glance Registry, Image Storage. Then there is a queue server, Swift, Nova Schedule, Nova Network, Nova Compute, and all. Okay. And next cloud computing tool is EC2, Amazon EC2. So here EC2 stands for Elastic Compute Cloud, and it is a component of Amazon.com, and it is a cloud computing platform which will enable the users to rent virtual processors, and on which the users can run their own computer applications. And EC2 will facilitate scalable application. There is Amazon machine, image, and configure a virtual machine. And the phrase elastic refers that it is the ability of the user to construct, launch, and terminate server instances as needed, with active servers being charged on the second. And it will give control over where their instances are physically located. Now, Amazon EC2 instant types are, then it is based on the desired application profiles, and these are classified as families actually. And general purpose means that it is an instance is a virtual machine which can manage a wide range of tasks, and the number of CPU cores, on-demand storage, and memory in general purpose instances are optimized. Web server hosting and software development and testing are two common use cases for general purpose instances. Then it is compute optimized. Now on the Amazon Web Service, the cloud compute optimized instances, these are used to execute the big data applications, because big data applications require a lot of processing power, and they also require memory. And these instances are built and tuned to run the computational and data intensive applications. And the features are that it is powered by a custom built AWS Graviton 3 processor, and it has 20% higher enhanced networking bandwidth. And next is GPU. GPU is graphical processing unit. The instance, it makes it possible to run the graphics intensive applications quickly than normally how much ever time it takes. It is memory optimized, means it is having a high speed solid state drive which is used in memory optimized, and it will enable ultra fast data access. Next is storage optimized, that the applications in that demand high IO speed, like NoSQL databases, and that they will save and retrieve the data from real time. So that is why it is ideal for storage and optimizing the storage. Next is micro. Micro instance, it is designed for low throughput applications in which micro instances are used as a small database server, and these will perform a platform for software testing and a web server that doesn't require a lot of traffic. And Amazon EC2 instance features, now there is an operating system, and the operating system may be Linux, Microsoft Windows Server, CentOS, Debian, and many are there. And persistent storage, the Amazon Elastic Block Storage Service. Uh, it allows the users to attach the block level storage volumes to EC2 instances and use them like hard drives. And this EBS will allow you to scale up or down the amount of storage available to an EC2 instance, as well as attach EBS volumes to several instances at once. Next is elastic IP address. Sorry. Elastic IP address is like IP addresses can be connected with instances using Amazon's Elastic IP service without the assistance of a network administrator. And then there is Amazon CloudWatch, and this Amazon CloudWatch is deployed on, it is a tool which is used for gathering, storing, and analyzing the historical and the real-time data and the performance of the data. It will also monitor the applications in the real time, and it is used to scale up or down in response to the changing workloads. And next is automated scaling in response to the application demand. The auto scaling will dynamically add or remove the capacity from the Amazon EC2 virtual servers. It will add capacity to manage the spikes in traffic during a product launch, or to raise a or decrease the capacity based on whether or not to use the exceeds or falls below the predefined limits. Next is bare metal instances are there, and Amazon EC2 fleet is also there, and that service will allow to deploy and manage the many instances, like it may be a single virtual server also. And pause and resume instances are used to halt and resume at the later time, halt at now and resume at a later time and from the same state. And if an application will consume too many resources, it can be halted without incurring instance usage cost. Next is Amazon EC2 developer resources. There are five. We are going to discuss about the five Amazon EC2 customers. One is Acquia. Acquia, it is a leading provider for open digital experiences. The company will provide technology to the world's most ambitious brands, which allow them to embrace innovation and create a memorable customer experience. It is only a digital experience platform for Drupal and enterprise firms. And Nanotronics employs a variety of machine learning approaches, including the Rain AI, and in microscopes to detect small flaws in the production line of microchips and nanotubes. And it is used to speed up processing and improve the detection rates. Redfin, with AWS, Redfin will innovate quickly and affordably while managing billions of property records with a small IT workforce. Amazon S3, Amazon DynamoB, Amazon Redshift, Amazon Kinesis, Amazon Elastic MapReduce, and Amazon EC2 instances. These are all of which are used. Next is DNA and XS. Now it is because AWS could deliver tens or thousands of compute scores, store petabytes of data, and provide the stability, security, and compliance required for highly complex and sensitive research activities. And next is Netflix. During this exceptional period, Netflix, like other home entertainment service, it has seen temporarily higher viewing and increased member growth. Our control plane service have to increase swiftly in order to fulfill this demand. Okay, so AWS Cloud and our strong cooperation became clear both in terms of computing and storage capacity needs, as well as providing essential infrastructure like AWS autoscaling. So this was about the three cloud computing technologies.